Hello, and welcome to Great Sleep. Get ready to listen and relax. Tonight I'm going to tell you a cozy bedtime story about a writer who went to a cozy, secluded cabin to find inspiration. Samuel Turner sat at his desk, staring blankly at the computer screen. The cursor blinked mockingly, a constant reminder of his writer's block. Frustration gnawed at him as he struggled to find the right words, the perfect sentence that would ignite his creativity. But it eluded him, slipping through his fingers like sand. The weight of self-doubt settled heavily on Samuel's shoulders. He had once been a prolific novelist, but lately, his inspiration had abandoned him. The characters that used to dance in his mind now lay dormant, their stories untold. He felt like a ship lost at sea, adrift in a vast ocean of uncertainty. Writing was Samuel's passion, his reason for being. The thought of not being able to create meaningful stories filled him with a sense of emptiness. He yearned to capture the essence of life, to weave tales that would resonate with readers and leave a lasting impression. But now, he was stuck in a creative abyss, unable to find his way out. Samuel's phone buzzed, interrupting his thoughts. It was his friend, Lisa, a fellow writer who had always been there to offer support and encouragement. He sighed and answered the call, hoping that maybe she had some advice or words of wisdom to share. "Hey, Sam," Lisa said cheerfully. "How's the writing going?" Samuel sighed again, this time more heavily. "Honestly, Lisa, it's not going anywhere. I'm stuck. I can't seem to find my inspiration." There was a moment of silence on the other end of the line before Lisa responded. "I understand how you feel, Sam. We all go through periods of self-doubt and creative blocks. But you can't let it consume you. Remember why you started writing in the first place." Samuel nodded, even though Lisa couldn't see him. "I know, but it's hard to remember sometimes. It feels like I've lost my way." Lisa's voice softened. "Maybe you just need a change of scenery, Sam. Sometimes, stepping away from your usual surroundings can help clear your mind and spark new ideas. Have you ever considered going on a writing retreat?" Samuel's interest was piqued. "A writing retreat? That could be just what I need. Somewhere peaceful and secluded, where I can reconnect with my creativity." Lisa chuckled. "Exactly. There are plenty of retreats out there specifically designed for writers. They provide a quiet space for you to focus on your craft and offer workshops and activities to help stimulate your imagination. It might be worth looking into." Samuel felt a glimmer of hope ignite within him. You're right, Lisa. I think I'll give it a try. I need to do something to break out of this creative rut. Lisa's voice was filled with encouragement. I believe in you, Sam. You're an incredibly talented writer, and I know you'll find your way back to your stories. Just remember to never give up on your passion. With those words echoing in his mind, Samuel ended the call and began his search for the perfect writing retreat. He knew that this journey would not be easy, but he was determined to find his way back to the stories waiting to be told. In search of solace and inspiration, Samuel made a decision. He would retreat to a small cabin nestled deep in the woods. It was a haven for writers seeking solitude and a sanctuary for those grappling with their creative demons. Samuel hoped that by immersing himself in nature's embrace, he could rekindle the fire within him. As he drove down the winding road leading to the cabin, anticipation coursed through Samuel's veins. The air grew crisper, and the scent of pine filled his nostrils. The towering trees seemed to whisper words of encouragement, urging him forward. The cabin awaited him, a beacon of hope in the midst of his despair. Finally, he arrived at his destination. The cabin stood before him, a humble structure made of weathered wood. It blended seamlessly with the surrounding forest, as if it had always been a part of the landscape. Samuel stepped out of the car, inhaling deeply, and felt an immediate sense of tranquility wash over him. Inside, the cabin was simple yet cozy. The walls were adorned with shelves filled with books, their spines worn and loved. A crackling fire danced in the stone fireplace, casting a soft glow that illuminated the room. Samuel ran his fingers along the rows of novels, drawing inspiration from the stories that had come before him. The bedroom was small but inviting, with a comfortable bed adorned with a patchwork quilt. Samuel unpacked his belongings and settled in, feeling the weight of the world begin to lift from his shoulders. He knew that this cabin would be his sanctuary, a place where he could reconnect with his creativity and find peace in the embrace of nature. Samuel ventured outside, eager to immerse himself in the healing embrace of nature. The sun kissed his face, and a gentle breeze caressed his skin. He marveled at the vibrant colors that surrounded him, the lush green of the leaves, the vivid hues of wildflowers, and the azure sky stretching endlessly above. As he walked through the woods, Samuel's senses came alive. He listened to the symphony of birdsong, each melody a reminder of life's intricate beauty. He watched as a butterfly fluttered past, its delicate wings carrying it effortlessly through the air. He closed his eyes and let the warmth of the sun seep into his bones, feeling a renewed sense of energy course through him. The woods were alive with life, from the scurrying of small animals to the rustling of leaves underfoot. Samuel marveled at the interconnectedness of it all, how every living being played a part in the delicate balance of nature. It reminded him of the stories he longed to tell, each character and event intricately woven together to create a tapestry of life. Finding a comfortable spot beneath a towering oak tree, Samuel sat down and opened his notebook. He let his pen glide across the page, capturing the sights and sounds that surrounded him. The words flowed effortlessly, as if they had been waiting patiently for their chance to be heard. Samuel smiled, feeling a renewed sense of purpose and excitement. Days turned into weeks as Samuel immersed himself in the healing embrace of nature. Every morning, he would wake up with the rising sun, eager to explore the wonders that awaited him outside the cabin. He would hike through the woods, following trails that led to hidden waterfalls and breathtaking vistas. One day, as Samuel made his way along a winding path, he stumbled upon a meadow filled with wildflowers. The vibrant colors stretched as far as the eye could see, a breathtaking display of nature's artistry. Samuel couldn't help but be captivated by the beauty before him. He sat down in the middle of the meadow, surrounded by a sea of flowers. The sweet scent filled his nostrils, and he closed his eyes, allowing himself to be transported to another world. In this moment, Samuel felt a deep connection to nature, as if he were an integral part of the tapestry that unfolded before him. As he opened his eyes, Samuel noticed a small rabbit hopping through the meadow. Its fur was a soft shade of brown, blending perfectly with the surrounding foliage. The rabbit seemed to dance among the flowers, its movements graceful and effortless. Samuel couldn't help but smile, finding inspiration in the simplicity and beauty of this encounter. He reached for his notebook and began to write, capturing the essence of the meadow and the rabbit's dance. The words flowed from his pen, each sentence a brushstroke in a grand masterpiece. Samuel knew that he had found something special in this moment, a piece of nature's magic that would forever be etched in his memory. Lost in his thoughts, Samuel was startled by a rustling in the underbrush. He turned to see a disheveled hiker emerge from the dense foliage. The hiker looked weary and lost, his eyes filled with desperation. "Excuse me," the hiker called out, his voice tinged with exhaustion. "I seem to have lost my way. Can you help me find my bearings?" Samuel hesitated for a moment, torn between his desire for solitude and his innate instinct to help others. But compassion won over, and he nodded, gesturing for the hiker to follow him. "Of course," Samuel replied, his voice filled with empathy. "I know these woods well. I'll do my best to guide you back on track." The hiker let out a sigh of relief and followed Samuel's lead. As they walked through the woods, Samuel pointed out landmarks and offered words of encouragement. The hiker, grateful for Samuel's assistance, shared stories of his own adventures and misadventures. "My name is Jack," the hiker said, wiping the sweat from his brow. "I've been traveling for days, trying to find my way back home. It feels like I've been wandering in circles." Samuel nodded sympathetically. "I understand how disorienting it can be. Sometimes we lose our way in life, and it takes the kindness of a stranger to help us find our bearings again." Jack smiled gratefully. "Thank you for being that stranger, Samuel. I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't crossed paths with you." Samuel waved off the gratitude. "It's no trouble at all, Jack. We all need a helping hand from time to time. It's part of what makes us human." As they continued their journey, Samuel couldn't help but feel a sense of kinship with Jack. Their shared experiences and the connection they had forged reminded him of the power of human connection. He realized that sometimes inspiration could be found in unexpected encounters. After what felt like hours of walking, Samuel and Jack finally reached a clearing. The sun shone brightly overhead, casting a warm glow on the grassy expanse before them. Samuel turned to Jack, a smile playing at the corners of his lips. "We made it," Samuel said, relief evident in his voice. "You're back on track now. Just follow this path, and it will lead you out of the woods." Jack's eyes sparkled with gratitude as he extended his hand. "Thank you, Samuel. You've been a true lifesaver. I don't know how to repay you." Samuel shook Jack's hand firmly, his grip filled with warmth and sincerity. "No repayment necessary, my friend. Just promise me that you'll pay it forward someday." Jack nodded solemnly. "I will, Samuel. I'll never forget this act of kindness." With that, Jack set off down the path, his steps more confident than before. Samuel watched him go, feeling a sense of fulfillment wash over him. He knew that he had made a difference in Jack's life, even if it was just for a brief moment. As Samuel made his way back to the cabin, he reflected on the delicate balance of life. Sometimes, we find ourselves lost and in need of guidance. Other times, we are the ones who can offer a helping hand. Samuel realized that these moments of connection were what made life meaningful, and he vowed to always be open to them. After bidding farewell to Jack, Samuel returned to his cabin, a renewed sense of purpose burning within him. He sat at his desk, fingers poised over the keyboard, ready to pour his thoughts onto the screen. Words flowed effortlessly from Samuel's fingertips, as if they had been waiting patiently for their chance to be heard. His characters came to life, their voices echoing in his mind. The stories he had longed to tell spilled onto the page, each sentence a brushstroke in a grand masterpiece. Samuel wrote with a fervor he hadn't felt in months. The words danced across the screen, weaving intricate tales of love, loss, and redemption. He drew inspiration from the beauty of nature, infusing his stories with vivid descriptions of landscapes and the emotions they evoked. Hours turned into days as Samuel immersed himself in his writing. The cabin became his sanctuary, a place where his imagination could run wild and his creativity could flourish. He no longer feared the blank page, but instead embraced it as an opportunity to create something beautiful. As Samuel continued to write, he found himself drawing inspiration from the natural world around him. He marveled at the resilience of a tree standing tall amidst a storm, finding strength in its ability to bend but not break. He marveled at the delicate dance of a spider weaving its web, a testament to patience and determination. Through nature's lessons, Samuel gained a deeper understanding of the human experience. He saw how interconnected all living beings were, how their stories intertwined like the roots of a forest. He incorporated these elements into his writing, infusing his stories with a newfound depth and meaning. One day, as Samuel sat at his desk, he noticed a hummingbird fluttering outside the window. Its iridescent feathers shimmered in the sunlight as it hovered in midair, its wings beating at an incredible speed. Samuel couldn't tear his eyes away from the tiny creature, captivated by its grace and beauty. He reached for his notebook and began to write, capturing the essence of the hummingbird's flight and the wonder it inspired within him. The words flowed effortlessly, each sentence a testament to the power of nature's beauty. Samuel knew that he had found something truly special in this encounter, a piece of magic that would forever be etched in his heart. In the quiet solitude of his cabin, Samuel found solace. The silence became his companion, a welcome presence that allowed his thoughts to flow freely. He reveled in the absence of distractions, knowing that within the stillness, he could hear the whispers of his characters and the beating of his own heart. Samuel embraced the beauty of solitude, recognizing it as a catalyst for his creativity. He no longer feared the silence, but instead embraced it as a canvas upon which his stories could come to life. In this sanctuary, he found the freedom to explore the depths of his imagination and create without inhibition. As he sat by the fireplace one evening, Samuel reflected on his journey. He had come so far from that struggling writer staring at a blank screen. The cabin had become more than just a physical space. It was a symbol of his growth and resilience. It was a reminder that sometimes we need to step away from the noise of the world to find our true voice. Samuel's writing journey was not without its challenges. There were days when doubt crept back in, when the words refused to cooperate and frustration threatened to consume him. But he refused to succumb to defeat. With each obstacle he faced, Samuel grew stronger and more resilient. He pushed through the barriers, determined to conquer his fears and doubts. He knew that the path of a writer was not an easy one, but he was willing to endure the hardships for the sake of his craft. On those difficult days, Samuel would take a break from writing and venture outside. He would hike through the woods, seeking solace in nature's embrace. The trees whispered words of encouragement, reminding him of his purpose and urging him to keep going. And so, Samuel continued to write, even when the words felt elusive. He knew that creativity was not a constant stream, but rather a series of ebbs and flows. He embraced the challenges as opportunities for growth, knowing that every obstacle he overcame brought him one step closer to becoming the writer he aspired to be. One day, as Samuel ventured out into the woods, he stumbled upon a fellow writer. They struck up a conversation, sharing their struggles and triumphs. The writer spoke of his own experiences and offered Samuel a fresh perspective on storytelling. Inspired by this chance encounter, Samuel's creativity soared to new heights. He realized that inspiration could be found in the most unexpected places, in the stories of strangers, in the beauty of a sunrise, in the laughter of children. He opened himself up to these experiences, eager to capture their essence and infuse them into his writing. Samuel and the fellow writer would often meet in the meadow filled with wildflowers. They would sit side by side, their notebooks open before them, and share their latest creations. They would offer feedback and encouragement, knowing that they were witnessing the birth of something truly special. As they continued to inspire each other, Samuel felt a sense of gratitude for this newfound friendship. He realized that writing was not a solitary journey, but rather a collective effort. The support and camaraderie of fellow writers fueled his creativity and reminded him of the power of community. Samuel's time in the cabin had transformed him. He had grown as a writer and as a person, discovering new depths within himself and finding solace in the embrace of nature. As he packed his belongings, preparing to leave the cabin, he knew that he could always return to this haven whenever he needed inspiration. With renewed determination and a heart filled with gratitude, Samuel embarked on the next chapter of his writing journey. He knew that there would be more obstacles to overcome, more moments of self-doubt. But armed with the lessons he had learned and the experiences he had gained, he was ready to face whatever lay ahead. And so, Samuel Turner walked away from the cabin, his steps light and purposeful. The words flowed through him like a river, carrying him forward into a world of endless possibilities. The struggle was not over, but he knew that as long as he remained true to himself and embraced the beauty of nature, he would always find his way back to the stories waiting to be told.